from 91.7. This is WCUR.
All right, so today I'm here with Mike Nappi, writer and producer of Bird Call. Mike, thank you for coming on here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I want to get started. What was it like being at Westchester University and just being around in the area?
Amazing. I got placed in, I've been doing music, it's been my dream since I was 3, but when I came to Westchester, I was just randomly placed in the Digital Media Center student work, and it was like a dream. It was the first time I got access to Macs. My family, we didn't grow up with enough money for a Mac, so we had like these, cheesy PCs, and then I get to Westchester and there's a Mac, and we're just editing. Like any content that was filmed at the university, where there was like a president's speech, a lot of it, to be honest, was boring, but it's how we all got sharp.
Right.
And so that's and it was a group of us, and everyone went off to do amazing things, which I can get to later. But it was amazing. Like as soon as I got to the TV station as my job, I was like, well, this is what I want to do. I'm in school studying education, but I probably won't use that degree, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But so it gave me access to everything I needed immediately.
That's awesome. So going back to a little bit of your earlier time, I saw you did something with Logan Paul. How did that come about, and what did that mean to you as a creator?
Well, that was amazing. I was out in L.A. playing shows and just pursuing the dream. And shout out to my wife. She was holding it down here. Yeah, so then I was gifted an opportunity to go to Coachella, and it's not even a lie, I had 99 cents in my bank account of what I had left. And I run into him, and he just kind of assumed we were going to be like schmoes. And he was like, I'll give you $1,000 if you jump into that swamp. And I was like, yeah, let me rap for you. And then I knew they laughed at me, and I was like, I got him. And I jumped into this swamp, and he Venmoed me $1,000. I was like, can I rap for you now? And I did, and I blew their minds. And that was amazing because he's a good dude. He recognized it. And that was like, I had prepared my whole life for that moment. That's like the famous quote. I heard it from Kendrick Lamar, but it's like old philosophy. Good luck is when preparedness meets opportunity. And when the opportunity is there, if you're prepared, and I was. And that was like so reassuring for me. And then he made the whole vlog about me, and that spiked my social numbers. And then that was 6 years ago, and that's when I learned when you go viral, if you don't have something ready, prepare to plummet your numbers quick and learn what that's like.
Yeah.
And that was like the biggest lesson. And then, the past 6 years have been rebuilding.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about those early days, what came to be and how you got to this point.
Yeah, well, it started in Westchester. Before I was 21, I would go to open mics around dinner time and just wait until the open mic started and sign my name. And I did it at this place. What is it now? It's next to Limoncello. I forget what the name is now. But it used to be called 15 North. And I would bring all these people out, like, every week to this open mic. There'd be like 60 of my friends, like, out of their minds and cheering. Then they gave me my own show every week. And I was the only original rock act because I was just guitar and vocals at the time. And that's when I met this guy named Tamaro, and he was at the open mic, and he rapped and blew my mind. And I was like, do you want to start performing? And we formed an instant friendship, and I was like all bashful, like, do you think you could teach me to rap? Because I was whack back in the day, and I produced him, and he taught me to rap. We're still best friends to this day. And I met him here at an open mic. And so that was like the early days. And so we would play all the bars and be pushing our original music. And then just in my different apartments before, I live in the woods now, we own the house, but it used to be like different apartments. Just like recording vocals, recording cringy songs sometimes, and just like getting better and better and never stopping.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your rock history and all that. I'm a big classic rock guy. Who were some of your influences in the rock realm, and then what got you into rap with the rap realm?
Yeah. Rock, like any guitar-wise, Hendrix, Tommy Morello, Nile Rodgers on the funk side of things.
He's Slash.
Slash. You know why I love Slash?
Why's that?
Because not only can he shred, but you can whistle his solos.
Yeah.
And that's like the ability to, I think, write simple melodies that people can remember. he's one of my biggest muses in regards to like, if you listen to like my rock stuff, you'll hear the solos. You can pretty much whistle. Like my shredding goes to a certain level, and then I salute the masters. Like the biggest master guitar player around here is a guy named Chris Gordon. You have to look him up. He's from Delco. That's where I'm from too, and he is unreal. He's the best guitar player maybe in the world, and he's from around here. So shout out to Chris Gordon. But yeah, it's like Slash, Hendrix, Tommy Morello, Nile Rodgers. And even John Mayer, he could rip it. Those are some.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I do want to get into your song Bird Call. It's been taking over all over social media with the birds coming down.
Yeah.
To New Orleans for the Super Bowl is really catching some ground. So what came up with the idea for Bird Call, and yeah, how'd that all come about?
Yeah, believe it or not, this is like this song. In my head, I've been calling this song the Fetty Wap song because Fetty Wap pushed his, Trap Queen? He pushed it for years, and that's what this Eagles song has been. I wrote the song in 2018.
Wow.
I had different versions of it, and I was only pushing it on YouTube and like terribly produced Instagram posts as I was still figuring that out. And then 2 years ago, I was encouraged by my wife's dad to put it out officially. So I made this original beat, and as soon as I hit that 808, I was like, okay, this is going to be able to make people two-step. And so 2 years ago, I put it out purposefully, naming it the Philadelphia Eagles song Bird Call. So when people type Philadelphia or Eagles, so that's a media marketing hack, like 101.
Keywords.
Yeah, and it worked. And I know that's why people probably chose it at first, but I do believe it's a great song. And all of a sudden, just like thousands of people on TikTok, and it's wild. It's been a really slow grind. And then 2 years ago at the Super Bowl when we lost, Fox had covered it, and that was like the first press about it at Market Street Grill. And then, yeah, this year I went to Beer and Loathing Bar.
Great new bar.
Great new bar. Great owners, great place. And I just like to put myself in weird environments. I knew nobody. This was 13 days ago. This is before the quest even started. And I show up there, and before I show up, I park. And I was like, I know that Gilly is doing this Blow the Whistle challenge. I'm going to rap my vocals to Blow the Whistle. And I did it in the car, and I was like, I'll post it when I leave this bar. And I walk into the bar, and there's Gilly. I'm like, what the heck? There's Gilly, JoJo, Broom Man, and then Gilly's team. I'm like, this is law of attraction. And then I was taking pictures of this cool pennant, and then the owner of Woolly Pennants from around here comes up and gives me his card, and we became instant friends. And then I introduced myself to Gilly, who was super nice. And there's just kind of like I don't know, I feel like a energetic exchange of respect that when you're talking to icons like that. And I tried to do my best to make sure I passed those, tests just to show I respected them. And the convo went really well, and he let me like film us, just basically saying what's up. And then that really helped social media. So then I filmed. Right after that, I just went through town, filmed a quick music video, posted it. And then that got a lot of momentum. And then that led to me getting a call the next morning that NBC wanted to do an interview. And that was like 12 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where did the lyrics get inspired from in the song? There's a lot of touching on Philly and what it's like being in Philly and not like us and all that kind of stuff. So where did those all originate from?
Great question. I didn't want anything to be not timeless. So if you notice, the only word in there that is not timeless yet, with all due respect, is Jalen Hurts. That's the only, like I mentioned, Foles, and that was the only name, with all due respect to all the Eagles.
Right.
But if Hurts gets the Super Bowl, then the song, because I'd want it to be a forever song.
Right.
And I shout out to the rapper A-Rob. His song is blowing up, and he's hitting on all the current players. But my angle was like, let me get the spirit of Philly and Delco without naming anyone. So
Awesome.
That kind of like inspired it.
Yeah, so where did your love for the Eagles come from, and how did that all transpire did you play any sports growing up or anything like that?
I did, but I was definitely more the music nerd. So like, but my pop was an insane Eagles fan. And he passed away in 2013, and I usually have his ashes around my neck, but I had to take them off today. And like all of these Eagles clothes are his and stuff. And so a lot of it came from like carrying on his legacy, because every Sunday was a party, like a big party. And Yeah, so honestly, I can give it almost all the credit to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like a free way to party, you know?
Right. So I do want to ask, when did you realize like this song Bird Call was taking off and was catching ground, and maybe on the social media and when it started picking up the likes and the views and all?
Yeah, when people started finding it that I didn't know, and then people would come up to me and give a compliment. Because although, of course, this sounds like the cliche thing, your goal with music is to get attention on the music, and that means it's a sign that it's doing well. But you know, when people were coming up to me without me like looking for any type of compliments or anything, that's when I knew this was like something. And then there's like little kids on TikTok singing the words. That's wild.
Yeah. So what's it been like getting this local media coverage? I'd assume being from around the area, it's been really gratifying to see all of that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's like my dreams are manifesting right now. I've been lucky to have like a lot of cool milestones in my career and work with different names and brands. But this is the first time like I'm getting recognized as like a producer, a songwriter, and just like doing it from my house and inspiring other people that it is possible, because so many people will hold a lot of money over your head or a fancy label or celebrity endorsement, and they'll tell you you can't do it the way you want to do it, but they're wrong. You can. And that's what is exciting about this story that's coming out. Is like, oh, this dude, you can't imagine how many people have told me no, and then the same thing they told me no ended up working. So that's been the most exciting thing, to inspire other people, like, you can do anything you want.
That's awesome. So you do have this big Eagles song. Do you have any other Philly sports team songs, or any in the works possibly after the success of this one?
I do. It's just like a soundtrack type song. It's called Ring That Bell, but people use that on TikTok. That's just like for content. It's called the Philadelphia Philly song, Ring That Bell. But Philly based, I was just actually lucky enough. Speaking of the digital media center that I worked at Westchester, I worked with a dude named Chris Pierre Domenico, and when he was here, he was working on his movie called Delco the Movie.
Okay.
And then that went viral, and he got all the funding he needed. They're in, I believe they filed in SAG under a low-budget film, which means it was a little under $200,000, but that's insane money. That just because I'm on the news doesn't mean that's not an insane amount of money. Then congratulations for them raising that. The movie was awesome, and they put 3 of my songs in there, and that was only 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of momentum riding with that. I'll probably do a music video to at least one of those songs. They're all released. And then, I release a song every 2 weeks, and I have for a whole year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in a world where social media is seen as negative, or just people in general aren't always the closest, what does it mean to have a song that brings people together, and an Eagles team that brings people together just for a love of a city and a team?
That's an awesome question. I actually feel like there's a responsibility. I'm actually really conscious, because if you look on my social media, I'm like, I'll be crazy. And never anything offensive. I don't play that game. But I am crazy with like jokes and stuff. But with this Philly thing, I really hold a responsibility, because so many people that are Philly fans are like messing with me, and like I mean, no, that's like, you know, they're liking me, they're like supporting me. So I actually feel like there's a responsibility. I'm like real conscious of when I'm joking. I mean, I grew up in Delco for 18 years, right next to West Philly and Upper Darby by 69th Street. So like, it's in my blood. Right. Only time I'm ever joking about it is because I'm a part of it. But I'm like conscious. I feel like there's a responsibility, because they're supporting me. They deserve like respect. And I've been given more content, because right now on my Facebook, I have like 25,000 followers on my Facebook, and they've been the most supportive. So I've been vlogging, hoping that they appreciate it, and I think they do. So I've just been serving them, really.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific target audience with the song? Like, do you aim it to where kids can be around it and everything, or is it more of a just for a Bird Call Philly fans down in the city or anything like that?
Well, yesterday I was at East Bradford Elementary School with Fox 29, and I had elementary school kids doing the Bird Call.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I've actually over the past few weeks been taming the cursing in some of my content, because I know there's probably some more kids. I love that. For the most part, most of my stuff's all age. So yeah, I would love for the kids to continue liking it. My nephew Sebastian and my 2 nieces Penny and Olive, they're like a real gauge. they actually like the song, and I'm like, whoa,
That's good.
I'm cool. 10-year-olds think I'm cool. That must mean something.
That's when you're first starting to break.
Yeah, for real.
So I do have to ask, who do you think wins the Super Bowl? Do you have any plans for the Super Bowl? Any kind of traditions you keep around?
Birds are gonna win for sure. I actually think
That's the right
we're
answer.
gonna. I think we're gonna. It's gonna be a blowout. I think we're gonna embarrass them, and I would love to see Patrick Mahomes cry. I do love seeing legends do great things, but not this year. Not in regards to the Chiefs doing anything great. And then traditions, I don't know because of all this content stuff. Definitely partying at the house. We have a really cool house in the woods. It's awesome. But staying home and like kind of being a nerd and putting a little of my energy into like the content during the game. I might do that. Yesterday I was at Gilly's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and shout out to Woolly Pennants again because he did these awesome Woolly Pennants that are going to be used in the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. But Gilly let us come through and see the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast set and Gilly on Sports, and it just makes it so real. Like they're just rooms. I mean, they're two brilliant men doing brilliant things, but it's like that's just a room, and like I have a room too. This is a room.
What do you make of Gilly's success lately? I mean, he's been in the Eagles locker room. He's kind of become like a rallying call for them. Do you take anything from that?
Yeah, energy is powerful and currency, and people recognize it. And he's doing what he loves, how he wants to, earning it, and getting paid a lot for it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. You know, he has a relationship with Jeffrey Lurie and like the highest of the high, and they appreciate him, value his time for him being a fanatic over football.
Yeah.
So it's like attracting myself to. Lately I've been saying seeing is believing. It's like it doesn't mean it was easy for him, but like he did it. We can do it.
Right.
You know, so we can do it. So that was like what's been inspiring me the past 48 hours. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. So what's next for Mike Nappi?
Short term, still dropping songs every 2 weeks, which means next Friday will be one. Definitely some more content about Delco the movie. And when we win the Super Bowl,
There we go.
I'll probably, Super Bowl parade content, maybe some remixes on that. But definitely going to keep releasing music every 2 weeks. And these sold out in 24 hours.
Wow.
I got the idea last Wednesday at midnight. Woke up, I was like, going to do it. Went up to local business, Buttery Printwear, and Chica's Custom Embroidery. Gave him this idea. The owner also had an idea of a scannable QR code, and I was like, I'm going to put a link on my website called the Bird Call Experience. So then I made that. Then that took all day. I made the whole website part myself. And now people bought the hats, sold out in 24 hours, and they can scan it and get like chronological order of vlogs and stuff of everything.
That's
So I've been
awesome.
like a content machine for like the past 13 days.
Wow. Are you someone who would go down to the city? I know personally I go down to Frankfurt and Cobb in the Northeast if they win, or there's people who go down to Broad Street. Have you done any of that or interested in any of that?
I am. Well, I did the parade. Sunday, my friends are taking an Uber to the city no matter what. When the Phillies won the World Series, Westchester was crazy. People flipped SEPTA buses and stuff.
Wow.
It was like mayhem. So if it looks like it's going to be insane here, I may just chill here and
Okay.
definitely filming though. Hopefully filming mayhem and definitely be in the city as much as possible too. But man, it's crazy though.
It is.
You know, you're so vulnerable. You're like,
You are.
you can't just like get out. You know,
Yeah, it's a
I know
mosh
that's all
pit.
part of the experience.
Right. That's how
And
you
I-
got to look at it.
Yeah, and then you're just like a sardine if you're taking public transportation.
Yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, a lot of Philly, a lot of filming as much as I can.
Awesome. So where can people find your work and anything else you wanted to say?
Nappi Music is my real last name. Sometimes I meet people. I'm like, no, it's my real last name. Nappi Music on social media. All my music is under my name, Mike Nappi, MikeNappi. And I post videos every day, and I produce out of my house. So if you need beats or production, so I'm always documenting the process.
Awesome.
And yeah, I guess that's pretty much on the new. Yeah, every day right now is changing. So if you follow me like ASAP, you'll see right now just my dreams are like coming true, and I'm
That's
just trying to ride the wave as much as possible and keep it fresh without going stagnant.
Awesome. I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for coming on here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Woo wee.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.